Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. So, there is a hidden window of presumptives. I've done this before, same type of video a while back. Wanted to do it again to bring it to your awareness. Sadly, nobody tells any of us about any of this stuff, and sadly we figure it out usually when it's too late or after we've lost a lot of money because we should have done something prior that would have warranted some sort of payout, right? So anyway, presumptive conditions are huge. Why are presumptives so important? And I'm going to give you the definition here of what a presumptive is a little better in a second. But before I dive into it, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. The two ask, hit the thumbs up, let the video run if you have the ability to do so. If you want to support the channel in other ways, please consider being a member. You can do that by going to the home page. You will see the highlighted members there, and you will see a join button. And thank you to all you members. I truly appreciate you. And thank you to all you subscribers, and really anybody who watches the videos and hits the thumbs up and lets them play and all that good stuff. I appreciate all of the support. All right, so presumptive conditions are extremely important. If many Vietnam folks, and now you have a lot of our Gulf War folks with the burn pit stuff that are now presumptive. So presumptive conditions eliminate the need for a nexus to your time in service. That is by far the biggest issue that we as veterans face when we go to file our claims for disability compensation. So in order to get those payouts of, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $4,000 per month, we need to prove certain things to the VA. Now, in order to have a successful claim, if it's not a presumptive condition, you have to have your time in service. You need to have a diagnosed condition from a medical professional, right? A doctor. You need to have that diagnosis. That diagnosis should be chronic in nature or have some sort of residual effect, some sort of an ongoing problem. And third, you have to have a nexus, a link between the condition and your time in service. Now, what the VA is saying here is basically it's kind of twofold. Okay, great, veteran, you have your condition, you have your time in service. Now prove to me, the VA, that your condition either A, manifested during your time in service, or B, is a result of your time in service. So you need to prove that. Now, for many of us, what happens, right? We don't go to sick call. We don't go to the battalion aid station. We barely talk to the medic besides hand me some Motrin and, I need some moleskin, right? That's really it. So now what happens is we have no evidence when we get out and go to file these claims. Well, presumptive conditions eliminate the need for the nexus. That burden of proof disappears. And what the VA says with presumptive conditions, now hang on with me because this is a hidden window of presumptives that, unless you've watched my video before, you probably aren't even aware of. So we have presumptive conditions, right, for different things, like your drinking water, Camp Lejeune, your burn pit stuff, your Agent Orange stuff. Okay, so it lifts that burden of proof, which is huge. So now all you have to do is prove I served in a certain location and I have a condition that's listed as a presumptive condition. What's basically happening there is the VA is conceding to the causation of your condition. Like, look, it's caused because of your time in service for whatever circumstances. Well, here's the interesting part. Are you ready for this? And you're going to be mad, probably. So I'm going to frame it like this. First of all, you didn't get your conditions diagnosed in service because you didn't want any of the backlash, right? Then you get out. Well, then you're busy with life, and it's not until later on down the road that you start to figure it out. However, if somebody somewhere would have said to you, hey, guess what? When you get out of service, when you're out, you can go to a civilian doctor within 1 year, 12 months after discharge or retirement, after you leave the military, you have 1 year to go to a doctor and get diagnosed for many, many, many different ailments. Now, obviously, if you break your leg 6 months after you get out and you have some sort of ongoing problem with your leg, that's not covered. But diseases and migraines and gastroesophageal reflux disease and arthritis and whatever, right? All these other things. Those could all be presumptive conditions for you if you go in and get that done within the first year of getting out. But guess what? Nobody told you to go do that. So what'd you do? You didn't go because you're used to not going, first of all. And it's not until you get your life kind of squared away where you're finally like, okay, maybe I will go in. So it can be frustrating. But here we go. I'm going to read through the VA's actual website on this specific rule, the 1 year rule. Disabilities that appear within 1 year after discharge. There's a whole page dedicated to it. If you have certain chronic, long-lasting conditions that started within 1 year, they didn't even need to start during your service, that start within 1 year after you discharge from active military service, you may be eligible for VA disability compensation. Go figure. And nobody tells you. I get so irritated, and I'm and I've done these videos before. It's just that they get buried and then nobody ever goes back. So here we are. Eligible conditions include things like high blood pressure, hypertension, arthritis, diabetes, peptic ulcers, right? Compensation provides tax-free monthly payments. Keep reading to find out if you may be eligible. All right, well, let's go on because I missed that window and now I'm pissed, right? But look, it's a pay it forward thing, right? This is one of those things where we're hoping that folks that are still in, getting ready to discharge, hear it, see it. People that have just gotten out, hear it, see it, and go, oh, I better take advantage of this time opportunity that I have. All right, am I eligible for VA disability compensation? You may be eligible for VA disability compensation if you meet these 3 requirements. So there's 3 bullets here. You have an illness or condition that's at least 10% disabling that appears within 1 year after discharge. Would have been nice to know because I would have went to the doctor and had all kinds of tests ran. I would have every single blood panel you can do, check my thyroid, check this, check that, check everything. Oh well. The illness, this is the second bullet, the illness or condition is listed in Title 38 Code of Federal Regulations 3.309 alpha. And the last bullet, you didn't receive a dishonorable discharge. Then there's a notation. Note, if you get a disability rating, you may also be eligible for VA health care and other benefits. Oh, how wonderful. Moving on, how do I file for a claim for compensation? Well, ideally, you go through an accredited representative to help you with that, good second set of eyes on there, and they have access into the VA system, VBMS. Now, you can also do it yourself. You can do it online through va.gov where you file a claim. Moving forward, what evidence will I need to provide to support my claim? Here's what you'll need to provide. Evidence that your condition is at least 10% disabling, like a doctor's report that shows you take medicine for your high blood pressure. And, next bullet, evidence that your condition appeared within 1 year. Would have been nice to know. Would have went to the doctor a lot within that first year. So evidence that your condition appeared within 1 year after your discharge from active service, like a medical report with the date of your diagnosis. So quick, fast story. I wasn't told anything like all of you. When I got out of the Marine Corps, so for those that don't know, I was in the Marine Corps first. I did my time in the Marine Corps, got out of the Marine Corps, had a break in service. Then I joined the Army National Guard, and then I ended up getting out of the National Guard, Army National Guard. I ended up hurting my eye and blah, blah, blah. So now, when I got out of the Marine Corps in 1997, okay, did my time, got out of the Marine Corps in 1997, I filed a claim, and to be honest with you, I don't even know why I filed a claim. I don't remember. There's no big conversation that I can remember. I don't even think that I knew that there was money that could be involved. I think somebody just said, hey, look, you need to file for these things. Okay, I guess it's just part of the out processing. I don't know what I'm doing. Sign. Here's my conditions, whatever. And off it went. It was denied for both of them. I don't think I submitted any evidence whatsoever. And so I was denied. And I was denied probably, if I could remember right, maybe 5 or 6 months after I got out of the military, after I got out of the Marine Corps. Well, if I would have known, one, that there was actually money involved, and two, free healthcare, right? If I would have known really what was at stake here, and if I knew about the 1-year rule, it would have been so much different, right? So let's move on. There's a notation here. It says, if you have a condition listed in Title 38 Code of Federal Regulations 3.309 alpha, you won't need to show the problem started during or got worse because of your military service. In other words, they're saying it's a presumptive. You don't need to prove. The nexus is not required. This is because, and now they're going to say it, this is because we automatically assume or presume that certain conditions that appear within 1 year after discharge are caused by your service. We call these presumptive conditions. However, if they appear but you don't go get diagnosed and you have no proof of them within the first year, then you're out of luck. So that's why I really hate that nobody tells anybody that, hey, look, you need to go to the doctor the first year and make sure that you don't have anything going on. And if you do, make sure that those things get diagnosed within the first 12 months, because you can file for VA disability compensation for those. All right, so let's move on. There's another little secret window of presumptives. Go figure, right? What? There's really more beyond the 1 year thing for every single veteran, regardless of military service, as far as wartime service is concerned. So here's the question. Are any illnesses covered if they appear more than 1 year after discharge? Well, yes. Only you probably didn't know. So you may be eligible for disability compensation for these illnesses even if they appear more than 1 year after discharge. So there is 4 of them. 4 conditions that if they show up within a specified time frame, each one's a little bit different, or some of them are the same. I think, 2 are the same, then 2 more have different ones. So if they show up within a certain time frame, there's no nexus. It's just a presumptive condition. Okay? So Hansen's disease, a long-lasting infection that affects your skin, nerves, and mucous membranes, can appear within 3 years after discharge. So if you come down with Hansen's disease within 3 years after discharge, you can get service connected for that without proving that the military caused it or that it manifested during your military service, because it's a presumptive if you served honorably and it showed up within 3 years. The next one is TB, tuberculosis. If tuberculosis shows up within 3 years after discharge, same thing. You don't need to prove anything. It's just prove that you have tuberculosis and prove that it showed up within 3 years of your discharge. Next one, MS, multiple sclerosis. That can appear within 7 years after discharge. So you get out 6 years later. If you have MS, that's a service-connected condition now as a presumptive. You just need to prove that you have it and prove that you had it diagnosed prior to 7 years after discharge. The last one is ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. That can appear any time after discharge. You could be 95 years old, and if all of a sudden you get ALS, you are covered with the VA. So again, these are things that nobody talks about and nobody shares with you, especially upstream, right? Nobody's telling you, as the person who's exiting the military, hey, look, just remember there's certain things that can happen. So keep your eyes open and just remember to go back and check if certain things happen with you, and make sure you go get diagnosed. Blah blah. So it's frustrating, and that's why I'm doing the video, right? So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one, and remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.